Okay, so today I decided I would come on and I talk about chakras and how we can balance each chakra. So, and what is linked to, right? So when we think about our chakras, we know it's the 7 chakras. We work with the 7 chakras, whether you do Reiki or you're just getting more into your spiritual side of things. You're just being kind of introduced to what chakras are. We focus solely on the 7 chakras. So I get asked quite frequently in my holistic practice, what are chakras? What do they link to? And not just on the physical aspect, but on the emotional aspect. And then when we speak about it, it kind of comes to realization, oh, that makes sense. So I thought today that I would come on and I'll explain the 7 chakras, basically what crystals may help, if you would like to introduce some crystals as well to help balance them, and also food. So if you're starting out, and just to make it simple, basically to help to balance your chakras, the food that you could introduce within the diet are the colour coordination that you would like to put on your plate on a day-to-day basis to ensure that your chakras are kind of balanced at all given time. And then I speak about then your energetic human aura and how you can ensure that is healthy. Okay, so basically to start off are 7 chakras. All right, so basically all therapists kind of start at the root and associate the root chakra as the first chakra. So the root chakra is around our sexual organs and it is the color red. Okay, so this is where we oftentimes, if we suffer with back issues, it is a massive incline that our root chakra is off, is when people have experience of aggressive back pain. Oftentimes that the emotion that is stored there is anger and frustration. So if that is our balance, if your root chakra is off, often than not, energetically, you will notice that your moods have slightly changed. Now, as well, like if you've been logic, you'll say, of course I'm annoyed. I'm in constant pain with my lower back. It's all interlinked. But when we associate our root chakra, we think about our survival instincts. So people that have been, for instance, laid off, they're suddenly they'll have lower back issues, and sometimes they'll be like, I don't know why I suddenly got let off. It's not like that I'm working. It's stress. It's all your survival instincts, your structure in life. Everything's up in it like a heap. You're angry, frustrated. Pressure at work can often, you could be under so much pressure. Yeah, you might have pulled a slip disc or something like that, but then it's your survival. You're trying to cope, and energetically, on the emotional level, this is why your root chakra has often been off. I'm only playing back by, it's literally from cases over the years. This is how I don't go by hearsay. I go from results, and this is basically what I have faced with over the years. So the root chakra is about your survival instinct. Often or not, it's located where your sexual organs are, and often not is linked to your lower back as well. Then we have, that's your first chakra, so that's your root chakra, which is related to the color red. To balance it, we often use red jasper, or sometimes tiger's eye to balance the root chakra. I often use black tourmaline or obsidian to keep it balanced as well. So or black ox, I cannot often use that because that's a grounding stone as well to use on the root chakra. To balance it energetically by your dietary requirements, not to confuse you, but anything that grows from the ground, pop it onto your plates. Anything that is red in colour, pop it on your plate. It's your root chakra. So your second chakra is your sacral, which is located around your belly button. Anyone that has stress in their life, have stomach issues, has anxiety, any bit of upheaval in your life in relation to relationships or work or anything like that, your sacral will be off, and often not it is. Emotionally, it has got to do with pleasure, your desires, and creativity. So it's creativity in every aspect, okay, in with relationships and projects. So don't define it just by one thing. It has many meanings. So in relation to that, again, it can come out in symptoms of stress. It can come out in symptoms of stomach issues, ulcers. In that area, you have the liver, the spleen. So, like, yeah, gallbladder. It can all affect there. You have, so they could be the physical symptoms as well as upper back issues. So, yeah, so like, oh, you have the kidneys as well. So if someone has passed away, or if you broke up in a relationship, grief, loss, they're all stored around the stomach issue. Is stomach, which would be the sacral, but can often interfere with your solar plexus as well. But for the sacral, we'll talk about the sacral for your second chakra. Crystal wise, I would say carnelian. I often, if we're trying to start a new project or get something up and going, pyrite is really good to bring in prosperity and abundance. If it's stress or anxiety, I often use amethyst on the sacral as well, or on the solar plexus. So food wise, anything that is orange, encourage that into your diet. Again, root, if you have a lot of any food that is grown earth-based, put it into your diet as well. And if it's yellow, or orange, I should say, so like carrots, orange peppers, is all good, right? Butternut squash, sweet potato, kind of orange yellow, it's all good. So then we come up to your third chakra, which is your solar plexus. So your solar plexus is just below your diaphragm, all right? And this is linked again to your digestion. So it's your large intestine and your small intestine. It can affect, again, right, gallbladder. It can affect, it's because they're all linked together. Emotionally, all your bottom chakras intertwine. So energetically, if one's off, the other one is starting to go to filter through as well. So this is where, if one's off, the other one can be off. So but if you just remember, like digestion, stress, they're the factors with your solar plexus, grief. Okay, so what we'd say as well with stomach issues, you could either have diarrhea or constipation, or your bowel movements wouldn't be consistent, right? So energetically, how we would say that is either if you have diarrhea, you're running away with things, your emotions, you're constantly stressed, anxiety is at its height, quite down on yourself. But if you have constipation, more than likely your root chakra will be off as well. And that's where anger, frustration, and you're holding on to grudges, frustration, you're holding on to, and those will be interlinked at all times. So food, relation to food, to balance it, it's yellow. So any food that is yellow. Again, anything that is earth-based, root-based. And in relation to crystals that will balance is, I would say, orange citrine. So that crystal, I always use it. But then I amplify it with sparky quartz to make sure that you're detoxifying, because when they're always linked to emotions and things like that, addictions, things like that. That's how you clear it. And clear quartz. They're the ones that I really use on the sacral. So that's your third chakra. So we'll come up now to your fourth chakra. Which your fourth chakra will always be is your heart chakra. We associate the color green with that, and people with emotions we associate it with love. Now, over time, I have seen I don't just associate it with love. I associate it with grief and loss as well. So that's where it's our lungs, right? When you think organ based, it's your lungs, it's your heart. So again, asthma, any lung issues, COPD, anything, sinuses, like even though you think sinuses in your head, it affects your bronchus, your lungs. So it can often be the heart as well. So in relation to food, anything that's green. In relation to crystals, I would always use pink quartz. It's a lovely quartz, very gentle to balance. Clear quartz. Pink opal is also very nice as well, it's very gentle. But there is malachite is a good one as well. But if you have had a history or have a pacemaker, any issues with your heart or anything like that, stay away from the malachite because it's quite strong. So it will actually interfere with the rhythm of your heart. You could skip the beat, would be kind of a bit unusual. Do you know what I mean? You could stop. So we don't want that. So you stick away from the malachite if you have any history of heart issues, and work just with the pink quartz or the pink opal or anything like the rose quartz, anything that's nice and gentle. Some people use the green adventurine or green moss or green jade as well on the rose quartz on the heart area. So then we come to the fifth chakra, which is our throat chakra. This is blue, okay, because this is our communicated, or how we communicate, right? So then when we use this, we think of everything blue. But I always say from the head up, right, to balance all the chakras up, from here up, right? Think spices. I use spices for everything. So mixed spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, I use all of that, and they help clear the chakras from here up. So, and as well, it's very soothing for the throat, so you can't go wrong. So for your throat chakra, I use lapis lazuli. So LAPIS LAZULI. I use blue lace agate. I love that. It's lovely and like calming. Sometimes I use selenite and clear quartz because they amplify and they help clear. So then we go to your sixth chakra, which is your third eye. And this one is linked to your imagination and your inspiration. But for people that are trying to advance in their spiritual development and their psychic abilities, this is what is like the door to starting it. So to clear it, people use kyanite. I use kyanite. Clear quartz. Again, lapis lazuli, if you would like to. And I also use amethyst. They're really good ones. Or an opal. A clear opal is nice as well. Again, food-wise, anything that's purple. If you think of the chakra, anything that's purple. And spices really do. So like in your drink, like herbal teas. If you're doing bacon, like it's perfect. Then you go up to your seventh chakra, which is your crown chakra, which is like here. This is basically your knowledge and your spiritual awakening, really. And these two chakras are very, very important for people that are on their spiritual journey. And they can block quite frequently. So to keep them balanced and open, I would say for food wise, anything that's white, I wouldn't boggle you down with and think spices, because you can get really into the real nitty gritty, and it gets complicated. It gets very confusing if you're doing all the chakras. But if you just think color coordination, you can think it quick on your feet, and it's done and dusted, and you'll be fine. So anything that's white, like onions, garlic, cauliflower, white cabbage, lentils. I'm trying to think of fruit off my head that is white, but you're kind of getting the idea. And then again with the crystals, opal, selenite, clear quartz, they're brilliant for clearing up there. So then when we come to the energetic aura, right? So the energetic aura is basically like our protective curtain per se, right? And when that is attacked, or if that is not working at its fullest potential, it eventually then energetically it'll start triggering at our 7 chakras, right? So to make sure that our aura field is healthy, right? And I like to think of it as like cotton wool, that it's nice and fluffy and healthy. That the ways to balance it is to keep yourself grounded. If you do meditation, yoga, any activity that brings you joy and fulfillment, right? Keeps you pulled, right? In other words, if you're on a positive vibration, nothing can touch you, right? So you keep that balanced. Another easy way is to have a bath with Epsom salts or Himalayan salts. That's really easy way to do it as well. So, or you can ground yourself out in sand if you have sand near you, out in grass if you have grass, and if you don't, just maybe not on ground, but just ground yourself on the ground. Put your feet flat on the ground and ground yourself that way. And imagine yourself being a tree and the roots are growing through you, and that you are stuck and welded to the ground, and that will help you ground yourself and protect your aura field. So this is the basics. Okay, this is the, I suppose, what you say, the broken down, simplified version, because sometimes I feel things are too complicated for people. And if you're starting from the beginning, or if you have a busy lifestyle and you don't have time to be sitting down and doing structure for structure, it's just nice and simple to know the color coordination. You're keeping yourself energetically and physically balanced and as healthy as possible. So like, they're the easiest tips that I can give for you. But if you feel that this video has helped you and you'd like to get more tips on my YouTube channel, just get in touch with me, leave a message, or go across to my business page on Facebook and leave me a message there. And if you want more structured tips, I will upload them. Okay, so I hope this has helped in whatever way you need it. It will reach whoever needs it most, but don't get bogged down by the information out there. Just break it down to how it can function in your life. And what it's about is that we can use the tips because our body heals itself. And it's about getting the basic tools for you to implement it in your life. And these are the tools. So use it to your advantage and simplify it. Don't get bogged down by the nitty gritty. You know the 7 chakras now. You know the colors that they're linked to. And think of the food, the fruit, the veg, the food that's out there that you eat on any given day, that you can put it on your plates in the morning, and then you know energetically they're the ones that are going to balance your chakras, those specific chakras. But again, what I would say is, if you want to cover all bases and have the 7 colors, the 7 chakra colors on your plate on every meal, go for it. if you don't feel energetically called to that, but there's certain foods, then you know it's those chakras energetically are balanced, and somehow environmentally or physically there's something going on within the body, and they're the chakra that needs to be addressed, whether it's emotionally, physically, or spiritually, whichever way. But you'll know how it's working, because basically the answers are there. It has been shown, but it's just about us to open our eyes and become more aware of what the answers that are being faced with landed literally in our lap, per se, right? Because subconsciously we don't know we're doing it, but we're literally, what we're reaching for is telling us what is out of balance within the body. And just a disclaimer, right? If you go and buy a bar of chocolate and it has a purple wrapper, it doesn't mean your third eye is out of whack. It could be you're stressed, number one, because of the sugar levels, and you're trying to ground yourself. Energetically, chocolate, we use it to ground ourselves. So some bit you're stressed, something. So it's not about when you go and get something and the food, the wrapper is a certain color. It's the actual food itself that we have to focus on. That is what balances our chakras. So it's not being funny, but some people might get confused. They might think it's the wrapper. It's not the wrapper, it's the actual food itself. It's the food. So when you think about an avocado, right, it might come in a brown packet. Like it might come in a container that has brown packet. It's not the brown. It is the avocado itself. The avocado is green. It will balance your heart chakra. Okay, so just for you to be like aware, herbal teas, for instance, ginger tea. If you have ginger and citrus and spices, okay, break it down. Spices balance you, right, from here up. So from your throat chakra up. Then the citrus is orange, your solar plexus, right? Lemon is yellow, it's your sacral. So you're balancing your sacral, your solar, and your crown chakra up. And spices will always benefit your throat chakra, always. And they help open your third eye and your crown chakra as well. So think that way. Break it down. And then you're covering all bases. All right. So I've simplified it as much as I can think of at the moment. But if you want to get more advanced videos and you find this video beneficial, just reach out and let me know what you would like me to upload, and I will do my best to cater for that. Okay. Bye now.